Counter-Strike is a game that has quite a few skills that you need to get good at if you want to improve at the game, and one of those skills is decision making. And a lot of people have come to me over the years and asked how they can get better at decision making and just general game sense. And today I want to explain that in a video, but we're going to be doing it from the perspective of one of my viewers who has sent in his demo for a demo review. We're going to go over this game that he played on Mirage and look at the good decisions that he made as well as the bad decisions, and talk about how we can improve his decision making, and hopefully you'll be able to learn something along the way. I think it should be a pretty good learning experience for everybody involved. And with that being said, let's get right to the first round after a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey. Now, if you're not familiar with SkinsMonkey, this is a trade site that allows you to take some of the old and crusty skins out of your inventory, and you can actually trade them in for something a little bit new, a little bit shinier than what you have right now. And it's really easy to do this, actually. All you need to do is log in through Steam, pick the skins that you don't want to use anymore, grab the ones that you do, and then click trade. All trades will pretty much happen immediately, and any balance that you don't use in your trade actually stays on the site for you to use for any future trades that you decide to do. And right now, if you use the link in the description, you can actually get a 35% deposit bonus, and that's good for up to $100. So let's say you deposit $100, you would actually get $135 on the site if you use my link. So make sure you check out SkinsMonkey, and let's hop right back into the video. Now we're going to be watching Nez's perspective today, who has kindly sent in this demo to be reviewed, and he said, I just want to learn how to make better decisions in general. And so today, I think we're just going to kind of go through this game and talk about some key moments where he could have done better or where he did good so that he understands what he needs to do. And this is one that I already looked at a few times. I've been over the demo with my notepad and everything. I've got a bunch of stuff written down, and this is one round that I think is a great example. And it's something that we're going to talk about quite a bit throughout the rest of the demo, which is indecision. Now, a lot of people don't actually know this, but not making a decision is making a decision, where you're in between a few different things at once, but you're not really doing anything. For example, if we just back up 15 seconds here, he is making a decision here. He's coming around, he's going to take jungle, he's spamming, everything is good up until right here, where he wants to hold the murder hole, but his teammate is going to do it. So once his teammate's holding murder hole, well, he doesn't really know what to do, and you see that he's kind of bouncing between a bunch of different options. He just needs to make a decision and stick to it, because right now, he's an easy target for anybody who could be jumping window, who could be coming ladder room. And the best answer on the board here, well, it could be anything. He could just hold ladder, he could come up and peek murder hole with his teammate here, he could back up and play crisscross with his connector teammate. Really, there's a lot of good options on the board, but by sitting here and being kind of in the open and not really sure what to do, he's making himself an easy target. And eventually he is going to settle in towards this connector position, but I do just want to highlight this moment of indecision because there is going to be better examples of this later on down the road, and I think that this is just a small one that we can start the video with. We're going to fast forward to round number 4, and we are going to see that Nez is an apartments lurker. Now, he has his own way of doing things, and we're not going to critique that too much. He just goes about his little routine, and all is well. Now, they are playing against a full eco, and his teammates have met quite a bit of resistance. We've seen the trades coming out here. They've lost ramp, but we have a teammate in connector. So naturally, the best course of action here would be to recover the bomb and group up with our teammates. Now, we are really split, like as far as we could possibly be, but you could tell your teammate that you want to meet him in T-spawn, get the bomb, and go somewhere. This guy could be a lurker. Maybe we group up and we go apps together. We could do anything together. That's the most important thing. So we again have our teammate who is a lurk. He's kind of doing his own thing. He's okay to be doing this. And as soon as he gets the info here, which he's about to, he kills an A player and he's still alive. But Nez has grabbed the bomb and he's running towards B. Well, this is again one of those instances where he's made the wrong choice. You should not be running away from your teammates, especially when you have the bomb. Now, I know it's scary that they pushed ramp and we don't know if they're all there or not, but we have a teammate in connector who is ready to pinch, and if you group with your teammate, worst comes to worst, you'll just trade out and still win the round. It's a 3v2, but by leaving your teammates, you have now left this guy in a 1v1, and your connector teammate, well, now they've taken the A site and you're nowhere to be seen, which is going to make them have to go on a rescue mission. You've sat here in underpass and you've made it a losable round for your team just because you walked away from your teammates. Now, you end up winning the round regardless, which is fantastic, but again, it should not have been this tight. All you have to do is just be confident in your choices, and remember, rule of thumb is if you're ever in doubt, try to stay next to a teammate. You'll probably be doing the right thing. Now, it's important to mention at this point that Nez is a level 10 pugger on Faceit, and a lot of you guys are probably striving to get to this level on your own. And learning how to make better decisions, it's hard. A lot of the things that we're seeing here are somewhat good, but it's a little rough around the edges. So even though we're critiquing, it's important to remember that this viewer has opened up and allowed us to look at his mistakes on this YouTube channel. So please do not critique too hard. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to poke a bit of fun. But remember, we're all trying to get better here, and that's why we're watching this demo. And because of that, this is a round that I'd actually like to highlight that I think he made the right decisions. So there's a lot of middle chaos here, and he's just going to be supporting. He's going to smoke off top connector, which is fantastic. The idea with smoking off top connector is now you'll be able to go up cat with your team. You can regroup. You can maybe boost window, walk up con. There's maybe a lurk through stairs. We don't have anyone in palace, so probably not the best play. You could go back underpass, but you're denying information and you have a lot of options. So he's going to use this connector smoke. He's going to walk up and get in it. In the meantime, the window player dies, and so he knows that it's very likely that there's only one person on A now. He's going to patiently wait here, and as soon as the window player gets another kill, Nez remembers that that player just naded him, so there is going to be a gap in jungle. Because again, like I said, this player just naded off the wall, and so now he knows that that player's window. He can take this space. A lot of you guys would freeze up here and not move, but you have to. He walks through and he takes the timing. Now he's going to start flanking. He's going to look for this opper. He decides that that player has rotated, and it's very likely that there's only one place that they can go. If they went out window, they're probably going to reposition to CT, and the reason that is because there's a lot of good angles for the opper in CT, but also if we left and went B, well then who's watching A? Nobody. So of course he has to go CT, and Nez recognizes this really well, and he's going to creep up here. He's trying to stay as hidden as he can, walking up along the bench. This is all really strong stuff, and before eventually getting the kill and securing the A site for his team, then he's going to continue on his mission to wrap all the way around. I will say, I don't hate this. The bomb is planted for him if he gets around to jungle, but I think it's a little bit of an unnecessary step. I would prefer if you just stayed with your team here, you know, tried to play a crossfire on the site, maybe ramp to CT, make it unwinnable, but this is a safe play. It's not like the worst play on the board. It's not the best play on the board. It's just a good play. I give it a B+. Anyway, he's going to come in here, and that's the round. Now, I don't want this demo review to come off as a little nitpicky, but I think that this is a good round to talk about situational awareness. So nothing out of the ordinary here. He's playing against an eco, and his teammates have taken the A site. Now, one of the things that you need to do when it comes to decision making is you need to look at the radar and see what your teammates are doing, and then make a decision based on what they are doing. So we see that they've taken the A site. We see that our teammate has gotten cat control, and we see that our other teammate is going back to get the bomb. Just based off of this, from Nez's perspective, what should we do? Well, we have a couple options. We can come up connector and fight this jungle player that could potentially be there with our teammate, which is probably the best option on the board. We can come up connector and we can hold cat with our teammate. Not a bad option at all. We still have a smoke and a molly. We could say our teammate don't peek, and we could smoke off jungle. Again, a lot of options. Just to point it out, he's going to be aware of underpass, and he watches his teammate go in jungle, and instead of going with him, he decides to just smoke him off, which again, by itself isn't the worst thing of all time, but this teammate is, of course, now all alone and doesn't have any trade potential. He wouldn't have anyway, to be clear, but if Nez was with him, we could be in a little bit of a more comfortable situation, but all is well. It's just about knowing what is covered, and he does well just to know that there is an underpass gap afterwards that he needs to hold, so he's not completely unaware, but he needs to be able to make the correct decisions based off what his team is doing. And so my point is, just try to look at your radar a little bit more often so that you can make sure that silly things aren't happening. One of the other things that happens quite a bit, and that is also a little situational awareness, is in some situations like post plans where you have multiple players looking at the same angle, and all it takes is just a little communication to say, hey, I'm watching that, or hey, I see my teammates watching that, I should watch something else. Moving over to CT side, there's a lot more to talk about when it comes to decision making, because of course this is the side where your rotation can quite literally win or lose you a round, and if you troll and die on your site, you will also lose the round. So let's talk about this round. Nez is going to be playing in connector. He's going to smoke bottom con, and he recognizes that he's playing against an eco because his teammate's fighting. So he's going to come out here and fight. Nothing wrong with this at all. You want to assert dominance on the eco, but right here, this is where you need to make the decision. What's the only way for us to lose this round? We've already lost a man, but the only real way for me to lose is if I run up here and die, or if something tragic happens, whatever. So with 9 bullets, it's okay to go back to say, you know what, we're going to play the sites. We have better guns. They have nothing, and you know that, so it's easy to just go back. The only way for you to lose is for you to overextend. Now, your teammate is holding top mid with you, kind of just waiting for you to fall back or hold underpass. You don't even need to go all the way back into con here. You can even just hold underpass from Valley. If you've ever watched a pro match, they play this setup a lot, where somebody in mid is holding underpass while the window player is holding top mid. And against an eco, this is exceptionally strong. But the problem here is that you overextend quite a bit. And well, Despite your teammate trying to help you, he's just not in time, and so you're gonna go down. Now, a lot of people would say that this is Purple's fault for not helping his teammate. It's really not, because Nez was way too overcommitted, and let's just imagine for 1 second that this player was still top mid and he 1-digs Nez, and then while this guy's in the window, he's completely exposed. That could potentially be another free kill. Nez is just a little overextended, and it's going to cost him his life. Luckily, it's not going to cost them the round, but it is just a good point to say, know when to cut your losses. It's okay to fall back. Now, we know Nez is the connector player, but unfortunately, his teammate is going to take his spot this round. And this is just a Pug Classic, but this isn't something that you guys wouldn't experience if you were playing, so it's still worth talking about. Now, because we have our teammate playing in connector and going for a fight, we don't have an A-site player, which is fine, actually. It's really not out of meta for this setup to be played in Tier 1. Now, you just have to know what to do. And so what's going to happen is Nez is going to realize that nobody's A. He's going to smoke Palace. Again, this is all perfectly fine. Now, the only thing that you need to do here is to make sure that you don't do too much. You don't have a lot of good fights from the site here. And after you smoke Palace and your teammate takes this fight here, it actually might be in your best interest to just reposition in towards CT, because that's the choice place to play if you're all alone. Coming up on top of the stairs here, it's just a little risky, and now you're in a lot of trouble because this guy jumps out Palace because he's trying to make good off the space. He saw the mid fight coming in, and when you see a lot of pressure in mid, well, it's normal for the extremity players to try to take space, and that's exactly what's happened. And so now you're in a terrible position and you just get killed. Now, I know that this is a little bit troll from your teammate, but you can still make the most out of these rounds. And once you recognize that that's happened, you just need to try to reposition in towards Ticket or play from out here and jiggle and just try to live as long as you possibly can. We have another CT round here, and this is going to be another good example of indecision from Nez, and it's not the worst example on the game, but it is definitely still worth discussing. So he's going to come in here. He knows that there's very likely that they could be jumping window and or splitting B, so he's going to go in the murder hole and hold. Now, this is fantastic, but he does this thing again where he's not really sure where he needs to be, and once this connector player dies, he doesn't really commit to anything. He stands in spots for only a few seconds, and he cannot decide where he wants to go. And because of all of this indecision, he gets caught in transition, and he doesn't have a good fight. Especially when you have the deagle, you do want to be firmly planted so that way you have the best possible chance of winning a fight. He will go down, and again, my advice is just once you pick a spot, just commit to it. It's okay if they go B. It's an eco. You don't have to try to beat them to it. You're not a superhero. You don't have to be the savior of the city. All you need to do is just get yours in this specific instance, or just by holding murder hole, you are single-handedly making it easier for your teammates to know that they're not getting flanked, and you probably will get a kill if you just firmly plant yourself, maybe behind the flower pot, maybe in this headshot angle that you were playing. Both of those would be good, but just try to pick one. Now, round 21, we have a really strong round from Nez. He's going to smoke bottom connector, and he flashes for himself, and he's just going to swing bottom mid, and he's looking for any fights towards top mid. It's really strong. He gets his kill, and the best choice here is just to leave. After you've gotten your kill, you've disrupted the split, and if you get away, you're good to go. And after that, you're just going to get to B. You just need to rotate. Everything is going exceptionally well here. Your teammate dies. You know you need to fight. You get another kill. It's good. You need to get in front of that molly. You get another kill. It's fantastic. This is a beautiful round from you, my friend. I loved every decision that you made. Choosing to back up and be passive after you got one, not being greedy. That's a much better round than the round before where we were playing against the eco, and even being reserved here and not running out and trying to play with your teammates. It's all really good. We've got another round here at A where your teammate is going to push ramp, and he sees that it's an A hit, and they're already out on the site. It's really dangerous, and you have to make a decision quick. And now your teammate has gotten the kill on default, so you know that that's clear, and you don't want to overextend. We don't want to be taking these fights that are not tradable. Instead, since we have three teammates here, what's better to do is actually to just fall back and have your teammate peek off of you. That's actually the best play here on the board. As long as you're not getting caught while you're moving, you should be good to go. Now, this position that you've picked here, well, it seems fine on paper because your teammate can actually just peek and fight with you, but you also are exposed to connector. Instead, I would just hold this angle where the wall is flat with the stairs, and when they come all the way out to peek you, you have a pretty strong advantage. If your teammate rotates cat, you can see how difficult that would be for him, and it also makes it really easy for your teammate to just step out and help you at any moment. But it's okay because even though you died, you still tried your hardest to make it work. Now, do you remember that round that we had just a round ago where we were looking at Nez doing this exact play where he steps out bottom mid and he tries to fight top mid? Well, what made that play so strong was that after he got his kill, he got away immediately. And here's an example of him again getting the opening. Again, I love the aggression. It's super good. Now, you just have to look at this. It's a 5v4 and you are all alone. There's nobody helping you in mid. Situational awareness. Your cat player has fallen back. There's nobody in connector, nobody window. You should leave. You have a free window to just leave connector and you'll be happy. You'll probably win the round. And what you shouldn't do is this, because now you've given the men advantage back over, but it's actually worse than that because you've given the entirety of mid over to this guy. Now, of course, he doesn't know that, but your team does not know that either. And so they have to overcompensate for the fact that you've just died and given mid control. And of course, that's what you see. You see them having to retake into mid, and you see the T's are now inhabiting the area that you just gave over to them, and they will actually go on to win the round, even though your team did do a pretty good job at almost pulling it back. But like I said, this is just another example of just being able to make that decision. You know that you need to play your life. Your life is very valuable in game and out of game. So just remember, you matter. Don't just throw your life away. Now we've made it to the last round of overtime, and his teammates is going to get a double entry. And we've seen this as the game has gone on. Nez has gotten progressively more confident, which is actually good. But in this instance, maybe to a fault, because he wants to confidently walk out apartments. And again, I don't mind confidence at all, but there is a fine line between confidence and stupidity. And in this instance, I feel like we might have crossed it because your teammate's on his way with the bomb. All we have to do is, again, refer back to the round before. Wait for your teammates and all will be good, because you have two teammates who are not going to be able to help you at site, and you have a teammate who's on his way to help you, but he's still far away. And if you would have just gotten up jumping across the window, well, a 3v3 is very winnable for the CTs. Now, again, you do get out and everything is going to be fine. I love the confidence. You just take the site because you know you can. But again, if we want to play more reserved and more consistently, it's okay to just wait. You're not going to give them an advantage. They don't know what's happening. I promise you, this guy is sitting here scratching his head thinking, how did my teammates just die? He's already tilted thinking about queuing the next one. So it's okay to take your time, secure the victory, and then you'll be good to go. So with all that being said, I hope that this video has been pretty insightful on how to make better decisions. Now, I know we couldn't cover every possible way to make decisions in this game. So if you were be interested in a second part, please let me know in the comments below. And Nez, please let me know what you think about this demo review as well. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys subscribe, like, tell me your favorite part, and ask any questions that you have, because I will be answering all of them, because I want to do more viewer demo reviews for the channel. So with that being said, I'll see you guys very soon. Much love, and I'm out of here.